Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Changed up the setup today. We are outside because it is gorgeous. Today, to keep it as straightforward as possible, I am going to be talking about getting comfortable with things you are uncomfortable with. And I think I want to start this off basically by just talking about like what I mean by that. And of course, with that said, this, like all things, has kind of parameters that need to be followed. To be honest, I feel like it's a good thing overall, but it just needs to be appreciated. You need to be able to understand, like, internally, when it's just being comfortable with something you're uncomfortable with, and when you're like really pushing yourself to like an extreme. And I feel like a lot of the time you just don't understand like where to draw that line, and I guess this is where I'm kind of trying to come in and help you out with that. To be honest, and this is Zena. She is a black German Shepherd. She's my baby. Yeah, when we're doing these videos outside, my dogs will most likely be jumping in regularly because they like to see me when I'm outside, and she gets hot quick, so she likes to stay in the shade too. Yeah, back to what I was saying, trying to help you guys figure out where to draw those lines. And I feel like basically it comes from where you're you're more than just uncomfortable, and rather you're really like physically like in the spot where you feel like if I don't stop doing this, like there's gonna be like an issue. Like you shouldn't have to push yourself to the point that you're having like panic attacks or like mental breakdowns. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to push yourself so that you can get better at things that you don't necessarily like. For me, I don't like driving. I hate it. A couple months back, I got in a crash with my friend, and honestly, I like to say that I've gotten over it, but I really haven't. Anytime I have to take like a turn, it's just, I think of it and it just makes me like tense up. There's actually been a couple times where I have been driving and whoever I'm driving with has just said, "You're clenching the wheel like really tight." And I don't realize it until they say it, but I really am. And I think the reason for that is because overall, I'm just still not over that. And again, it's not like I'm to the point I'm having panic attacks with, but driving is something that's going to be very important to me moving forward, I feel anyways. And I don't want it to be this thing that I'm always scared of to the point that I just can't do it. With that said, I feel like pushing myself in this way is going to be healthy. I feel like a lot of the time, people get uncomfortable with things and they just give up on them. And I feel like it's just not something that I really want to associate myself with. If that works for those people, then that's perfectly fine for them. But again, this video is for if you're trying to be, I guess, progressive and you're thinking of that and trying to get over that. But again, I can respect that train of thought. It's not always easy to just find something uncomfortable and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's not something that at times is super easy to just get over. It's not like just like, oh yeah, just get over it. People feel these things for a reason. That's perfectly fine. And with that said, I think we all move at our own pace, and I feel like this is no exception to that. Because to get comfortable with things, especially that you're not comfortable with, or just being ready to try and do that, takes time, and it's a different amount of time for everyone. I feel like growing up, there was some things that I was challenged with, and I feel like because of that, it was easier for me. And not even like super big challenges are things that you need to really face these things. Like, I mean, it can be anything. Like, when I was little, like really little, I didn't want to learn how to tie my shoes. I didn't want to learn how to ride a bike because at first it was hard, you know, but once you do it, it's like you just don't forget. And I wasn't comfortable doing it, you know what I mean? When I was little, I don't know why, but it felt like it was taking me 3 times as long to learn than anyone else, and that was just something that frustrated me. And I guess this ties in with what I was talking about yesterday about patience. It's just about like staying focused and keeping up on what your goal is, instead of focusing on how, or letting like your anger or frustration really like take control of you in those situations where you're really trying to like better yourself. So it goes to show that it's not just about emotional things, but it's about physical things as well. And yeah, after all of it, I managed to tie my shoes. I can tie my shoes. I can ride a bike. I can do things. And eventually, I'm gonna be in the car by myself, and we're gonna see how that goes, I guess. But the whole point of me doing this is so that when that day comes, I'm prepared. You know, you don't want to go into these things blind, and that's another big reason why I think we all have to do that. Stay prepared. Get ready for those things, because you can't hold someone's hand your entire life. It's just the reality of the situation that I think some people aren't willing to face. And this is, I guess, like a wake-up call. Like, just to be direct, you're not always going to have someone holding their hand for you. You know, in life, that's just not how things work. And I feel like a lot of the time, people can't regulate emotionally. And, okay, again, not to say, I feel like navigating this is kind of, it's a very narrow line, because I don't want to say that these people, like, need to do it themselves. Of course not. Like, there's always people who are willing to listen to you, and I just want that to be said. Yeah, I'm not trying to put anyone down who has any emotional struggles in that level, but I'm just saying there's always ways we can learn to help ourselves regulate. And yeah, that's a lot of it. Self-regulation is key, and it doesn't even have to be just like sitting in a room, just like, okay, I can do this, you know. It's like literally, it's in the daily things. Like, it's how you choose to make your bed in the morning. It's how you choose to take care of your body, what you put into your body, and what you're doing. Like, you think about it, I like to go on hikes. It helps me calm down after really rough days. And when that's not possible, it just is what it is, you know. I'm not gonna cry about it. And that doesn't mean I'm like stay hard, you know what I mean? It's just like, decide what you're willing to give that part of yourself to, you know. And it's always like, at the end of the day, I'm always gonna be able to go on a hike, you know. At least now, I will be. And it's like, I will be able to, because it's like, even if I'm busy the next day, there's still time to do it. And even if that day after also isn't good, then after I'm on my hikes, it's like I'm free, you know. Just for a moment, it's like I'm free from everything that the world has to offer me, and I can just focus on myself. And I think there's something important to be said about that, because I feel like when you focus on yourself first is when a lot of these issues go away, because you're focusing, especially comparison, you're just thinking about, oh, well, he said, she said, oh, they think about me this way. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. And as long as you're proud of yourself and you know that what you're doing is right, and that's what matters, and that's what will really keep you focused on your goals. I feel like sometimes people get that mindset, but I feel like they tend to like either intermix it or just lose it. And then it's like, while they're also like, oh yeah, I know I should be focusing just on my goals and on myself, they're also worried about other people. And I've been there, you know. It's nice to be there for your friends, but the truth of it is to an extent. You should not, well, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be there for someone, but I'm not going to say like you shouldn't let someone drag you down so much to the point that you're upset, like more than just upset, like you're getting like this like depression almost, because they're upset with themselves or something that's going on. And not to say that that person is wrong for feeling the way they do, but it's just to say that you can't let how other people are feeling like super like influence you to such a great amount. I feel like a lot of the time that's hard for people to wrap around, because again, they care about people, and that's a beautiful thing. I truly believe that. But yeah, just remember to keep yourself a priority, you know. And I'm not saying keep yourself your number one priority, you know. That's not always what you need to do, because sometimes it is important to put other things forward first. I don't think you should really ever be your first priority ever, you know? But you should at least always be one of your at least top 5 priorities. You know, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. These are all things that you need to take accountability for in a way that you will be able to actually process your emotions and like your health, you know, just your basically your health is something that needs to be maintained. You can't just, we're not robots. We can't walk through life and expect things to go perfectly every time, and our bodies and our minds to just be like, yeah, okay, you got to take time. I think a lot of the time we don't recognize that. We really do view ourselves almost like machines, like robots. And I feel like that's a thinking I would like anyone who watches these videos to try and stem away from. Think about a time in your life that you've struggled and see if like that robotic thinking of it and just pushing yourself through hard times instead of like really like stopping and be like, wait, let me process this, played into it at all. And yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to talk about today, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Zeus, by the way. This is my other German Shepherd, 2 German Shepherds. He is a cuddle bug. If you guys like this video, subscribe. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can hear this, but the highway is right there. So that's why you guys are hearing that. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment about anything you want me to talk about, or any questions you had about today. Again, I'm always willing to listen to criticism. I think if it's constructive, it's something that is very important, especially on this channel. And yeah, thanks.